Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet for up to $1,000 back in a beautiful bonus bet. Basketball comes on every night, almost every other night. You can find something that you could play some of that bonus bet money on. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code VOCH, V-O-C-H, VOCH. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Okay, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code VOCH, V-O-C-H, VOCH. The crown is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with another episode. Me and Foster King is here. The Salt and Pepper Lounge. We haven't opened up the Salt and Pepper Lounge in a while, Foster King, because people getting their feelings about the Cowboys losing. No loud sounds.
I got my tea for the lounge. I'm just saying.
Foot's got his drink. I got my water. Everybody listen. Do not forget to tip your waitress. Okay, if there are any women standing up and you sitting down, you make sure those women are sitting. Okay, and everybody make sure that the women have comfortable, warmed blankets and that they are snug as a bug in a rug for when me and Foots the King get this work done, because it is draft season. That's what we do. So Foots, we're gonna have this discussion in the Salt and Pepper Lounge, but there will be no loud sounds. That's the first rule. Okay, no loud sounds in the Salt and Pepper Lounge. That's cool, sir.
Hey man, I got my Salt and Pepper voice on.
All right, cool. Let's. All right, cool. No loud laughs neither. All right, here we go, Foster King. So backstage, we talked about a couple of positions: O-line, cornerback, linebacker, running back. We're just gonna go back and forth on what we learned, where we're at, because it's constantly a process. Combine's right around the corner, but I don't normally have pre-combine thoughts. I'm a post-combine guy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at with it. But first, we did touch on cornerback for a little bit, and we had some interesting. We ain't say nothing, but you were saying something about some of these guys. So let's get started. Foster King, I've been watching corners because I got a cornerback show coming up, and cornerbacks made me very sleepy, Foster King. So I'm gonna just start here. Just go to the top of my list to the bottom. Did you watch Cooper DeJean?
I have.
Tell me what you think about Cooper DeJean first.
Well, I see a guy who could play in zone.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch the film, I always see his eyes on the quarterback, but he's a great athlete, great hip turn. DB work, that's me. I love that. So I love the back end. I love safeties. And I actually haven't got to as many corners as I want to, but I've got to, like we said, the top 7. Mm-hmm. So Cooper is in my top 3. It all depends on how much man you want to ask him to play, Voch, but I didn't see him play much press man, i.e. Trayvon Diggs, i.e. I didn't see him in receivers' faces. And so I saw him off a lot, and I saw him, and of course you pulled up a play where he's in it, but when he is in man and he's in press man, he's running with a guy. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times you see this right here. Yeah. That's mainly what you see. Now, one thing that you definitely see is a guy who can play versus the run.
Yes, sir.
You see a great tackler, bro. That's what made me say he could play safety at a high clip. Sure. Not because he's a white DB and you just put him as, no, he can play corner.
Sure.
But bro, he's an outstanding tackler. So those are my thoughts, like right there.
I think
that play right there was
Ball skills. Let me just go back real quick. So, I love for my corners to have ball skills. Like, I don't have to just stay on you. I'm just gonna go find the ball. Like, he's an eye on quarterback guy. And look, if you want to throw the ball to the back pylon and the receiver ain't over there, it don't matter. I'm going to go get the football. I like that about Cooper DeJean. He's a find the ball in the air guy. I don't want to just put him at safety because he's a white man footsie kid. Cause you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that to him. I think he can cover up on the outside a little bit. I think he has the ability to. He's not a small dude. He's 6'1", about 215 or something. He looks to be stout. And this is what I love the most right here, Foot. Like he'll run down the middle of these receivers trying to block him, and he'll just go make a play.
Look at that, yeah.
He'll just go make a play in the run game. Yeah. I love that to pieces, man. So I do think he's a better zone player than man player.
What I saw on film. Yeah.
I think he's just more comfortable looking at the quarterback, reading eyes, passing guys along, communicate. He's a smart headsy player, right? We're not just saying that because whatever, but he's a high IQ player, but he can run though. He's a goddamn track star.
That's a great rep. Right.
That's a fantastic rep.
Go back to that rep in the slot.
Fantastic.
That's some of what I think Zim likes those. He doesn't always have his DBs in press man, and it's not always cover 1 or 3 or variations of it like we saw with Clint.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where Cooper would live if he were drafted in this defense.
I feel you. Let's just keep going just a little bit because I'm interested to know. Have you seen Nate Wiggins?
Love Nate Wiggins.
You like Nate Wiggins better than Cooper DeJean?
No.
I don't get it with Nate Wiggins at all. I don't see how you love him. I don't think he run that fast. I think he's just caught up in space a bunch. I think he could be a bit aloof. And I don't think he want to tackle nobody. He just seems a bit slim. Now he's bona fide press man,
That's why I liked him. I did see him in receivers' faces.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a strong word in the lounge. Love is a strong word. I like Nate Wiggins, and I think that the problem that I had with Clemson's defense, and even when I was watching Trotter, it was like they didn't really have an identity. Like, how when you watch Michigan,
sure,
they had an identity. Everybody's running to the ball. They're funneling things. Michigan did a lot of different things on defense, but it all made sense.
Sure.
So you could tell the coaching was good.
Yeah.
When I'm watching Wiggins, I'm like, okay, you're playing press, but then, the overhand. It was like little things to the puzzle for me that just didn't make sense. The whole look at their defense. So I can see what you mean by he does get lost sometimes, because at times he does play with bad eyes, what I saw.
Like if I'm just looking at my list though, Foots, I got Tyrion Arnold at 1.
Yes, same.
And then it's like a fight between Cooper DeJean, Ennis Rakestraw, and Kenyon Mitchell for 2. You know what I'm saying? I think all 3 of them dudes are quality corners, but Rakestraw's a dude. Mitchell is a dude, and I like Cooper DeJean. Like how I'm explaining it, just sounds like and I like Cooper DeJean. So let me ask you this: I've been saying this on the radio on KG's podcast.
Shout out KG.
If we get wiped out at center, let's just say Barton and Jackson Powers aren't there, and they don't think that highly of Frazier. If the best player on the board is a corner, do you think that we just go corner? We just forego what we need and just draft corner?
Voch, me and you've been doing this long enough. You cannot go wrong with a lockdown corner.
Sure.
That could come in and be your DB2. Now you move Bland back to the nickel. He can be more comfortable where he's at. I mean, right now, let me ask you this, Voch. Is Quinyon Mitchell better than Deron Bland on the edge?
I don't think so.
Okay, and that's fair. Is Tyrion Arnold probably be there?
Well, let me say this because you can get lost with Bland's pick production. You know what I'm saying? With his interceptions.
There's times he get cooked a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? But just as a straight up corner, there have been times where I love Deron Bland just as a corner. And it's hard to put that versus Kenyon Mitchell in which I haven't seen him cover a wide receiver in the league yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard to say right now. Like if Kenyon Mitchell came in right now, like let's say he's at 24, Cowboys draft him, he shows up day 1. I don't think he's taking Deron Bland's job. But I do think just as a pure cover guy, as a man cover guy, Mitchell probably up there. Like Mitchell's up there.
Let me ask you a question. I thought that Quinyon Mitchell had out of everybody at the Senior Bowl, had the best performance at the Senior Bowl, outside of your boy Jackson Powers. I think that there's nobody who helped his stock better than Mitchell. The reps he had against Romo Wilson, lockdown.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey, lockdown. There wasn't a receiver who consistently could get away from him, right?
Yeah.
So now, Voch, let me ask you this. From what I'm hearing, he's going to blow the combine up.
If he does, he's a top. He's a top. He'll top 10 pick. If he does, like if he blows it away athletically, because Foots, man, you know he got. We're talking about a dude that got 18 pass deflections this year.
That's different.
You know what I'm saying? Like this year he got 18 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like some people get 6, 7, 8. 9 is a good year. He got 18. So your only concern would be, oh, Voch, he's only doing that because he's playing against Miami of Ohio, or he's playing against Marshall or Eastern Michigan, and then he goes to the Senior Bowl and locks all them kids up. Hey, it's tough, man. It's tough. So you know, if there's any questions, I mean, he's not a very thick dude. I guess he's kind of skinny, I would say. But if he go out in the combine and run a 4.3 and jump all over the place, man, he might be cornerback 1. Somebody may take him higher than Arnold. I think Arnold's a bona fide gangster, but
I love the arm length of Arnold.
Yeah.
I just love how long he's a long player.
Smart player, yeah.
Smart, physical.
Hip pocket, yeah.
Hip pocket. Even when he does get beat, next rep is like, he back on get back. Square player, man.
Let me tell you what I loved about watching Terry and Arnold film, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I love about me and you, man. You can't hide knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You either know the player, ain't no hiding in this game, right?
Right.
Terry and Arnold, when they played against LSU, he lined up on the outside, locked Brian Thomas down, but Malik Neighbors was going crazy from the slot. They took Terry and Arnold and put him on the slot and made him chase around Malik Neighbors and kind of slow him down a little bit. I just thought you got so much information from that, because Brian Thomas got shut down by a wide receiver 1. Neighbors is a gangster from the slot. Tyrion can play in the slot. Tyrion can go with the best of the receivers in the class. You know, I don't know what now. King and Mitchell went and whooped all the Senior Bowl kids. Would King and Mitchell have done that versus Malik Neighbors? I think these are like questions. These are questions we got to see. You know what I'm saying? But so Tyrion Arnold is number 1 for me. But
Arnold, even after the combine, I still would trust the tape on Arnold because of what you just said.
Sure.
If you do it in the SEC, that just puts you.
Yeah, I could trust you.
I can trust you, bro. And
I trust you.
He reminds me of Sky. I mean, Sky. How many times am I gonna do this today?
What?
You know how many times?
What he say? What's he say, Nigel?
You know who he reminds me of, Bacho?
Who's that?
He does remind me of Diggs. I see that it's that length and like knowing how to play with that length.
Sure.
Like he doesn't panic.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. He's very handsy, but it's in a good way.
Yeah.
Like he gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why, while I was high on Brian Thomas, I watched that game. You're right.
Yeah.
Brian couldn't uncover.
Yeah.
He couldn't uncover, though. And like, hey, now obviously you look at Terry Arnold more. His high end is a true CB1.
CB1, yeah.
Like he a lockdown guy. So maybe Brian Thomas isn't going against that type of athlete in the league, but that was telling. That's a good catch by you, Voch. That's a fact.
If you're the Cowboys, what round are you looking to draft running back?
Ooh. You know, Voch, the opinion on running back is so polarizing.
Shouts out to Sky, because he's been saying this for the past couple of weeks. He said, "Hey man, running back better than y'all giving it credit for." Running back, this running back class is way better than y'all giving it credit for. Just because it's not a Bijan there, people saying that it's a bad class. But I've been watching these running backs, man. They go crazy a little bit. Foots.
Our first talk that we ever had of this draft cycle was obviously Trey Benson.
Sure.
And I think I'm guarding myself this year from getting bored. Mm-hmm. What happens is people get bored and they find reasons to like other people, other athletes. And so while a guy like Jalen Wright might go crazy at the combine, I'm still going to trust the film that I have on Benson. That's why he's my RB1. For me, I would draft Benson in the second round,
mm-hmm.
and be ecstatic. Because what I do in free agency now, let's say you go Zach Moss. Let's say there's not a big name. And I know to appease Cowboys fans, everybody wants Derrick Henry, maybe Saquon. But let's say that they don't. Let's say that they go a lesser name. You can pair Zach Moss with Benson, and you feel really good about that room, Voch.
Look at this run right here, Foots. Just contact balance, getting skinny, finding a hole. You know what I'm saying? Running hard, just making a dude miss, bro. I'm looking at Trey Benson, and this thing can go from
patience right there.
Yes, sir. This thing can go from committee to all right, y'all. We just gonna lean on Benson and just use Deuce if he need a break. Use Hunter Lipke for like specialty situation. Like Benson is a dude. I don't see a committee around him. He's a guy. He's a dude. And I think once upon a time running back used to be about speed. I think now the biggest running back trait has got to be contact balance. Balance or making the first dude miss. And let me keep my film going. And Trey Benson just lives and dies. Man, good luck arm tackling this guy. Good luck arm tackling, man. You don't go down the first go.
You brought up Hunter Lipke. He's in the fold, right? Like he's in the plans of Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I love about Benson is he uses his blocks. You are a former O-lineman, Voch. You are the O. When it comes to O-line, I lean to you. That's why, you want to talk O-line with me. I want to talk O-line with you because I have my rankings. But, so and I coach, there's nothing worse than a back who does not hit it where it's supposed to, but not only that, who wastes leverage in the hole. One thing that I noticed about Benson, when they use those GT counters and all that pull game, he doesn't waste the motion. I thought Tony didn't run as well vision-wise this year. I think that's Benson's strength. He gets lost. So if you're using Lukey to go kick out middle linebackers and you're using Tyler Smith to pull, Benson is going to not only get lost behind those guys, but he's going to get every yard possible because that was kind of scheme he ran at Florida State, and he's good at it.
Mr. King, we like to have context here. What you were saying, I don't have it for Trey Benson because I'm just not a magical wizard like that, right? But I did have this play from Marshawn Lloyd, who I love a bunch. What Foots is saying, first we're gonna
dollar store Trey Benson.
Marshawn Lloyd is dollar store Trey Benson. Okay. Let me just explain what I'm about to say before I cut your ass out. So what Foots was saying, take a look at Marshawn's patience right here. If y'all focus on linebacker 21 right here, right? He's really gonna be in the alley with Marshawn right here, but Marshawn's patience sets up 21 to be blocked. Oh, let me run back a little bit. He sets up 21 to be blocked. Then he springs through the hole, right? So when people are listening to Foots and they say, "Hey, Foots, what do you mean by set up the offensive line?" With your patience or whatever. This is an example of what Foots came talking about. All right, let me cut your ass out. You say what now? You say Marshawn is a dollar store Trey Benson?
I really like Lloyd. I had him in my first favorites Voch. The only thing that I had Benson over is what you said, contact balance. I think Benson runs a little bit harder.
Well,
just a little bit.
I don't think they're the same kind of running back. Foots, so I don't do player comparisons, but look at his stance right now. Who was like this last year? Who used to be like this, like just standing straight up in their stands, and they're in the league with this now, with this goofy little I'm just standing up stance. Who's this?
Probably Swift.
Jameer Gibbs. Jameer Gibbs used to stand up just like this, with his hands on his thigh pad, hands on your knees. He used to stand up just like this, Foots. And I think Marshawn Lloyd, he's not exactly Gibbs because Gibbs floats, like his feet don't even touch the ground. Faster, but as far as burst, dynamic type character, catching the ball, making a big play, making the first guy miss, like plays like this, Marshawn Lloyd is out. Now I'll take dollar store Gibbs. I'll take dollar store Gibbs, but you ain't finna tell me Marshawn Lloyd is dollar store Trey Benson. The hell wrong with you? But I do like Trey Benson though. I do like Trey Benson, and I think both of these running backs can be like lead type running. Now I don't want to say bell cow, that's a whole nother word, but they could be lead type backs for some team or whatever. But tell me what you think about Marshawn Lloyd first.
Another guy that he reminds me of from last year's class a little bit is Tajay Spears.
Got a little bit of Spears in, yes sir.
Yeah, when the third round to the Titans. So I'm not mad at that, Voch. I think I think with this class, outside of outside of Brooks, outside of Trey Benson, outside of Lloyd, and probably outside of, I don't know if I want to put Jalen Wright quite in there yet. And I like Estime, but something is kind of off for me with him.
What's off about Estime?
I think what's off about Estime for me is I don't see an elite trait that I could point to, but he does run extremely hard.
That's the elite trait. That's the trait. That's the trait.
That might be elite trait. I don't know how quick. I don't know how fast he is, bro. Like,
yeah,
I
sure.
Struggle.
Sure.
I struggle with him, Voch. Like I don't know, and I could be very wrong, bro. Like I'm gonna be honest. I was high on Braylon Allen last year watching him. When I really watched the film, did you see him run through many tackles, Voch? I could be wrong.
Braylon Allen?
Yeah. I see Estimate run through more tackles than Braylon.
I was starting to think that about Braylon, but I was like, all right, let me watch somebody else just to kind of, you know what I mean? Estimate does seem to bulldoze people a little more than Braylon. Braylon looks bigger.
Yeah.
Braylon looks a litjust bigger. But I think Estime is a better blocker, and I think Estime is a lot more physical. Like I'm just about to make up a stat. His physical play success rate or whatever, I don't even know if that's real, but you understand what I'm saying?
It sounds real.
His physical play success rate, have you seen Estime versus Clemson?
I've seen him versus.
Estime did Clemson dirty. He's the running back for everybody watching right now.
I gotta get into this film.
And then look, Foots. This ain't even highlights right here. This is just me running the film. Like I'm watching like the first 5 plays. I'm not skipping around. The first 5 plays, Estime is really just not getting tackled by Clemson at all, right? And if I'm only skipping, it's only like the wide view right here, right? But we right back cartel view. Estime gets the football, and it's like, hey, one of y'all, this arm tackling ain't gonna work. this arm tackling. Nate Wiggins, good luck, Foots. We talking about Nate Wiggins. So when I look at Estime, I do think he's a tougher runner than, let me say he's harder to bring down than Braylon Allen, because I think his balance is a little better. Now he's not gonna shake a down one tick, so ain't he can do about that.
I think the creation part is, but like you said, man. I mean, his upper body, but apparently they say he's built like a Greek goddess. So also too though, Foots, I'm getting sick of not this play. I'm getting sick of these shotgun runs for these bigger guys, man. Like get like this right in the center.
Yeah. So they got like some pistol stuff, which is like glorified hitting shotgun. Like really give that man a running start, like DeMarco Murray him. You know what I'm saying? Give him a running start and let him just thump into people for 4 years and move on from him. But I think Estime I think his balance is a little better. So I think he deals with contact a little better than Braylon Allen does. Braylon Allen, if he gets the drop on you and he can put a shoulder into you, then he runs you over. But if you grab him by the ankles, he'll just kind of fall down. You know
it was a couple times that I saw him get ankle tackled. I mean, on the Cooper DeJean film, you saw him get ankle tackled. That just kind of scares me. So I would probably, when I revisit my running back ranking once all said and done, I may end up having Estime over Allen.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna have Estime over Allen too. Estime just seems like a true, he can lead the way as a power back type guy. You know, Braylon Allen seems like a complimentary AJ Dillon type character. Like AJ Dillon's not going to take over running back room by himself, and I don't even think he's going to have a whole bunch of players you can really lean on him. You know, he's not going to be a Derrick Henry type character, but I don't know. Both he ran his own guy over there. So both guys are interesting. I would love for the Cowboys to pick one of them, but
what round for these two?
Estime seems to be like a 3rd round guy for me.
Yeah.
Braylon seems to be like a day 3 somewhere guy. 4 or 5, something like that.
Totally. I think with Braylon Allen, he'll be for some teams. Like for there's going to be a team out here who says, man, you know what? we really want to super establish the run.
Sure.
I think with Dallas, it's so interesting because you're locked in a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
You have a top 3 receiver in the NFL. So while you want to run the ball, I think your running game still will be complementary to your passing game. Mm-hmm. It needs to be a good complement.
Sure.
But I don't think that you're looking at it and saying, my running game is the end all be all. Would you agree with that, Voch?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just got to have it, you know. And yeah. there's some critics of Dak Prescott, and you know, why can't he do it in the playoffs or whatever, right? But those same critics, if you ask them what wins football games in the playoffs, they'll say run game, and they'll say a defense that travels. And our defense didn't travel nowhere. At home, they didn't even travel. And our run game was like Dak Prescott did everything with no run game. Like Tony got 1,000 yards just because the passing game was so prolific. We just couldn't get a real answer of like situational running the football. So with our 3,
that's a great point.
You
know never felt like on 4th and 1 you were gonna get it.
Zero confidence in our run game. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Dak ain't gonna be perfect. So there's gonna be some games where you need run game and defense to buy him some time to figure this stuff out. You know, like Pat Mahomes wins Super Bowls throwing for 190 yards, 212 yards. Cause at some point they'll just run the football, figure it out, play some defense. The other team will make a mistake, and then Pat finishes it. The last 3 drives, he may go on a little roll or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Dak we never seen like this year. Like we'll as much as people say Dak's only good versus the bad teams, it seems like the defense was only really good versus the bad teams. But
dude,
yeah.
To your Pat Mahomes point, I mean, the Super Bowl, he was awarded chance after an interception. They got to stop. I mean, he got intercepted. The Niners were on their 40, and that was a punt.
Early in the third,
I mean, yeah. So I just, you know, to that point, I mean, if even after the Baltimore game, even during the Baltimore game, after those first 2 drives, Baltimore's defense gave up nothing.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about Dallas, Dak down 14-0,
mm-hmm.
then interception. So it's not all on the defense. It was Dak too. And then guys just ran open. Oh, I think the biggest thing when I look at it is, and what bringing a guy like Zim does, and, you know, obviously we'll talk about some of these defenders. It's like, dude,
mm-hmm.
guys won't just be running wide open. I think we say run game, and everybody wants to do tackle and linebacker. I don't remember. I mean, I can't remember a game where there was a lot of receivers just wide open, Voch. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Let's do this because I don't want to hold you too long. I mean, but we good though. We're fine. We're fine. What's your rankings on the offensive line? You said to me earlier that you trust my offensive. You would love to talk offensive line with me. You want to see what your rankings are. What's your rankings? Like tackle, guard, or you just rank the whole offensive line? Like what you got for me? Let me hear you out.
So obviously the headliners, Joe Olufashinu. At the top though, I have Fuaga.
Are they obviously your headliners?
Well, I just think that
are they your clear 1 and 2 guys?
I think you can make the case of Fuaga.
I'm ready to start some mess, Foots. I'm ready to start some mess, man. You know,
I like Mims more than Latham, me personally, because of just how big of a human being he is.
Okay.
So those 4, and then it's just after those 4. I mean, I like Graham Barton. Graham Barton's going to be kicking inside. You know how I feel about Graham Barton. I like Tyler Guyton. I don't know how you feel about Guyton. I would personally like Guyton over Morgan, but I know that might be blasphemy to people. But I really like Guyton. And then obviously J.C. Latham, because I didn't mention him earlier. And then obviously the big one is Jackson Powers Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about the interior, Jackson Powers Johnson, Graham Barton, Zach Frazier, those 3 are all jumbled together for me. I'm not as high on Jackson Powers Johnson as everybody else. And you could cuss me out if you want. Let me put my shades on too.
I just got a question for you, fam. This ain't nothing too crazy. All right, we're good. We chill out. What the fuck? We good. What you mean, Jackson Powers Johnson? What you mean?
I'm gonna tell you, from what I've seen,
I
like Graham Barton over Jackson Powers Johnson. I'm gonna die on that hill.
I don't hate that though, cause I love Graham Barton. For some reason, you think I can't stand Graham Barton. You tagging me to Graham Barton shit on Twitter. I don't know why you. I was like, yeah, I agree. I love Graham Barton. I just think it's a little closer, but. To your Jackson Powers Johnson point, when I first watched him, he's not a player you could just watch a little bit of film on. You got to watch a lot of his film, because he does throw his body into people. He does lose his balance. He does have lapses in technique sometimes, and where he's slipping around and his base gets caught up, his hands get a little funny. But he is a tenacious, nasty dude. Like, he has the physical tools to be powerful center guy for you. I do think Graham Barton has some really good traits, but at the end of the day, if they're both projected to play center, Jackson Powers Johnson got the black belt in center right now. Graham Barton got to earn his. But on the flip side, I think Graham Barton's much better than Zach Frazier. I'm not feeling Zach Frazier at 24 like a lot of people, like a lot of people talking about. I think Zach Frazier is much more of a day 2 prospect. But I don't hate your highness of Graham Barton, but I'm possibly unsure about your lowness of Jackson Powers Johnson. But, I feel you, though.
Facts.
I feel you, though. But just me looking at my offensive lineman list right now, I'm fighting myself with Fuaga. I want to badly put him as my number 1 guy. But, these things take time. Wow. I like Olu's technique and his savvy as a pass blocker, but I think sometimes, and there's no knock on him or whatever, but I just think Talisi's tougher than him. I think Talisi's power shows up a little better than him, and the same with Joe Alt. So I
don't think you're wrong there, bro, because I say this, man, with Fashanu, the one game that hunts me is the Ohio State game. Okay. The Ohio State had a DN, I forget his name.
JT Tuimalau.
Yep, man, and he's not draftable this year.
So let's have a conversation, Footsie King, and this is a talking point that I mentioned. I don't know where I'm at, because I do this so much. So Foots, common opponents. Yeah. That's the one thing we can really hang our hat on if we're trying to nitpick between a couple of guys and we're trying to figure out who's really, really good and all that. If you watch Ohio State, they play a lot of the guys that we're watching this year. So if you watch Olu Fashanu versus Ohio State, when JT Tuimalau 44, when JT Tuimalau walks over there, it's a tough day for Olu. Olu couldn't stand looking at JT Tuimalau. He gave him a day. But then if you watch Ohio State versus Notre Dame, JT Tuimalau gave Joe Alt a hard time. Joe Alt did a little better than Olu, but he gave his ass a tough little day. But Fusty King, this is a good thing about football math. This is a good thing about common opponents. This is a good thing about lining these guys up and stacking them up like club sandwiches, like Bill Parcells say. Remember when Jason Garrett said, it's like a meatball sub. You ever seen one of these? It's something good about it, Fusty King. You know who had no problems with JT Tuimalau? You know who beat the shit out of JT Tuimalau consistently? Not only in a regular game, but it's a playoff game with the most pressure on your back. Armarius Mims ain't had no problems with JT Tuimalau.
That's why.
Hold on, Foots, the war call. No loud sounds. Foots, Armarius Mims didn't have no problems with JT Tuimalau. You understand me? So there's a lot of ways that we can rank these guys versus each other. And Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu, they'll probably be ranked much higher than Armarius Mims. It is what it is. But if I can lean on Mims for anything, I don't care that he only started 8 games. He played against JT Tuimalau in the playoffs, and he beat the shit out of them when other people couldn't. That means something to me.
Let me tell you something, man. There's no way he falls Mims.
What if he there though? Foots, he could be there. 24. He could.
I take him, dude. That's what when I first said my rankings, I said, dude, just how big he's huge.
Mm-hmm.
He's a huge human being. I know you were high. Who was the tackle you were high on last year that got drafted from
DeJuan Jones, built just like
that was your guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I watch games, like he literally just consumed DNs.
Mm-hmm.
Like if DNs didn't have a counter move, they were done. He just washed them down, and it was just routine. And I don't know if he's quite as big as DeJuan Jones, but I mean, Mims is good, bro.
Mims
really, really good.
Mims is 6'7", 320 or some madness, but I think DeJuan is probably stronger than him. I think Mims is a better overall athlete. DeJuan probably got more arm length too, and Mims is a bit more raw. So they are different and similar in that way, but Mims just know how to play ball, man, and he can move, and he big, and he is strong. He ain't strong as DeJuan Jones, but DeJuan Jones is a bear. But Mims can damn play, Foster King. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get that out of there. Mims can play. So I saw in Dane Brugler. Every now and then I just go to Dane Brugler just to kind of see what he's thinking, right? Not to really get his opinion, because I like to just, have my own. But sometimes Dane's opinion reflects what the league is thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I looked on his top 100 board, and let me just go to offensive tackle. He has Armarius Mims at the 17th overall player. Tyler Guyton at 18. I ain't saying you move up and nothing like that, but of course the volatility of quarterback can bump guys down. Cornerbacks can bump guys down. I think a lot of these wide receivers are gonna go and bump guys down. But it's the King. I don't think it's gonna happen. But if Armarius Mims is in the 20s for you, we can talk about it. We can go to Golden Corral, get some sushi.
Yeah, I mean, because he obviously that's bad news for. Well, no, actually, you know what? It wouldn't be, because I think they're gonna sign Tyron Smith.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be bad news for anyone really, because you keep Tyron. Sky's cousin. I said his cousin. Mims is starting day one somewhere. Too good. Yeah. So, what would you do in that situation, Voch?
I'm taking Mims. Versus who?
Versus, like on our line now, who comes off?
So you just got to sit Mims. I'm assuming, because look,
that's real.
Cowboy fans gonna hate this, right? But everybody not gonna be able to play for you day one, especially if your team is fully fitted, and it's ready to go, and you really, free agency was like really good for you. Like if you take care of your business in free agency, like of course you need linebacker, but linebackers don't go in the first round anyway. You need running backs. Running backs don't go in the first round anyway. So you may have a situation where you miss out on center. But if the best player available is a corner or a left tackle, you just draft that dude and just, because look, if you draft corner, they may not play immediately for you. If you play if it's defensive end, they're not gonna play. Like we would love to have Darius Robinson, but he's not gonna start day one. And I think the same for Mims. So if you get Mims, you are dirty macking on Terrence Steele to make sure he's good. And Tyron only got one more year left to go anyway. So Cowboy fans will hate sitting Armarius Mims, but at least he'll be ready for you in the future.
Yeah, and I think that is a holistic approach to it, because he's going to help you this year. Mm-hmm. He is. And he's your future too. Mm-hmm. So, and that's also a BPA situation as well. Yep. Because if Mims is there, I take him over the receivers. Yeah. All of them.
And I mean,
not even close.
Like think about how many times we said the name Chuma Adoga this year. Like Mims can play. Mims he'll get some play time. Any closing remarks before I get you up out of here, Foster King?
Man, I mean, I think we hit a lot of nuggets. I actually liked your point about how you that's a great way to think about it. How this team, how the Dallas Cowboys would, if they went tackle, how they would. Because I think if you went Guyton, say for somehow you went Guyton, sure. Even if it was in a trade back situation, let's say Seattle takes your center, you don't like Barton, and you want to, you have the other option at center, whether free agency or he's on the team, and you want to trade back, pick up a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick, and Tyler Guyton or another tackle's there. I think it's the same situation you talked about. It's still win now mode because guess what? By week 7, Guyton is ready to go. And if Tyron woke up and his back hurts, and like he did this year, Guyton's ready to go, and maybe he doesn't get a position back. And now you're making a playoff run with a young tackle who's figured it out, maybe got beat a few times, but you know what you're getting. Mm-hmm. And he was also able to watch Tyler Smith practice, watch Tyron Smith practice, watch Steele, who I think Steele will have a better year, being healthier. So that I like that approach. And then I like what you said about corner. I think that people need to stop locking in the positions. And this is the time of the year where we kind of talk people off of some of that stuff because, hey, cool. You lock into linebacker, you lock into center, and they don't get it. Now draft day, you're all the soda and the popcorn and the nachos that you order, you're mad and you don't want to eat it because you didn't. Even receiver, if you lock into receiver round 1, Voch, and they don't draft it, now you hate the Cowboys again, like we just lost the playoff.
So Dane Brugler has Ennis Rakestraw 48th on his top 100 list. There's no way he's gonna stay right there. That dude can play. Gritty, mean corner. I take him in the first. Dog. You can't fool me, man. That dude's a dude. That dude's a baller. But we'll talk about Ennis Rakestraw another day. Buster King, thank you so much for tapping in with me, sir. Into the Salt and Pepper Lounge. And you know what I'm saying? In the lounge, no loud sounds, no loud sounds. Tell the good people where to find you, sir.
Man, I'm at Buster King everywhere at FOOTSDAKING. Thank you, Voch, for having me. Voch, outstanding draft content, man. This is our time of year. Yep. This is what we do. Obviously, we cover the Cowboys year round, but we made our name in the Voch. In the Voch world. I'm in Voch's world right now, in the draft world.
Sure. Shouts out to Fuster King. I'm Voch Lombardi, and my band is the Love Pieces. Fuss. That's my.
That's tough.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I always be like, I love you to pieces. So it's Voch Lombardi and the Love Pieces. That's crazy. But we'll cross it. Y'all hold it down, man. We'll catch y'all next time, man. Me and Broad is going live on Friday. One day I got to get y'all two together. We'll do a little draft talk, but we'll work on that. Salute.
Peace.